Here's one towards the goal. That's going to be gloved by Travis Ridgen. Well, this is more like it.
This is Slangin' the Biscuit. Here's Travis Ridgen and Dave Wheeler.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the greatest hockey show on the planet. My name is Travis Ridgen. I'm a former 4-year professional hockey goaltender. I interned for Calvin Klein for a short period of time that didn't go so well. The man across from me on the other side of this table, he is a Canadian radio legend icon, top of the mountain as far as morning radio shows. This guy's a big dog with an even bigger hog. I'm talking 12-inch wiener on a micro bun, brioche and everything, fully loaded, caramelized onions, bacon, chili, the whole works. His name is Dave Wheeler. He's got the hottest grill in town. We are live broadcasting to you from the entertainment capital of the world in Las Vegas, Manitoba. Welcome back to the show.
You know, he said he modeled for a short time for Calvin Klein. He didn't realize at the time, but some dude down the street had the name Calvin Klein, and he just went down to his basement, took some photos, and realized it was a scam.
This is hard.
Let me see your driver's license. Yeah, it says Calvin Klein. Well, I don't know.
Where's the rest of the team? It's just us in this basement. It seems a little bit unprofessional, doesn't it? It's okay. Turn over.
Hi, Chris. Why don't you all come on down over to the street?
Free popsicles.
Free shoulder massages. I thought the greatest hockey show on earth was the new Demi-god in Montreal.
Demidov?
Yeah.
Did you see the video of him walking into the Toronto Pearson Airport, the worst airport in the world?
No. I saw him score a assist in his first shift and a goal in his first period of hockey with the Habs, though.
Well, so the Montreal Canadiens fans, they have obviously their Facebook groups and whatnot where they have all the latest up-to-date news. And somebody got wind, this is the flight coming in from Russia because there's only one of them coming in from Russia per day. And he's going to Toronto Pearson. Demi-god is on that flight. Everybody go down to Pearson. It's only a 5.5-hour drive, 7-hour train ride, probably 11 with delays. And let's go meet this guy at the airport. And there's a video. These fans, these seekers, there must have been like 100 of them just waiting at midnight at the Pearson Airport. And there he comes, and he's waving to them like he's the queen. He's living up every second of it. All these fans, the security, it was fantastic. And then like you mentioned, whoever threw that puck in all the way down, he hunts it down. He's like a liberal woman on socialism. Absolutely loved that thing. And then he fakes out Soderbaum, and then boom, just tucks around the corner. What a finish for that first goal, too, by the way.
No kidding. And look, it didn't end well for the Habs that night. But if you're a Habs fan, you're walking out of that building going, we gonna be okay. We gonna be okay. That team literally got younger by half a year when he got into the lineup that night. Like, seriously, their average went down because, yeah, I think the Montreal Canadiens are... The fact that they're doing what they're doing this year with as young of a team as they have, their future looks very bright as long as they don't screw that up.
How cool is that, though, when he comes out for warm-ups, he gets the rookie lap, and this is in October. You've missed the incomplete dog days of the NHL. You've missed the minus 20 in Montreal where it's freezing and snowing. It's warm out. I was just in Montreal last week. The weather was fantastic when he came in, by the way. And then the crowd is on their feet. They're excited to see you play. You got sweet style, sick little tilt on the helmet, little tilt up there, and then a nasty finish. The crowd, like I said, was going nuts in warm-ups just to see him get that rookie lap. That's an exciting time.
I'll be honest with you, I also love the fact that Montreal is going to be a very nice crack at the sheepdog, by the way. It's going to be a very easy transition for him going from Moscow, Russia to Montreal, Quebec, because Montreal is probably truly the only metropolitan world-class city that we have in Canada. We got some great cities, don't get me wrong, but that's the one that truly has that European kind of flair to it. So an easy transition for him rather than settling somewhere in like Tampa, Florida. I mean, that's a bit of a culture shock for a guy coming straight over, right? So no, I think things are going to go swimmingly well for not only the new Demi-god in Montreal, but for the entire province.
Women are dressed so well too. The style, the class. What do you think of those? I don't know if you've seen them. They're almost like, they call them mom style, but they're European style jeans. I remember seeing them when I was playing in Sweden. They're tight around the waist and they get really baggy, like about like this wide on the ankles. What do you think of those? Have you seen those?
My wife is a fashionista, and she loves the fact that this style is coming back in. They've gone from it kind of moves from the upper hip to the lower hip to the bottom hip. You know, the tramp stamp either gets covered or it gets just a shade of it for the imagination. Yeah, and listen, the style in Montreal is second to none in Canada.
Are they high waisted too? By the way, those jeans. Like the mom style jeans, are they high waisted or are they lower?
I think they're going lower. They're going closer to what a 90s style was, where they used to wear them a little more off the hip.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. The Montreal Canadiens, they had, when I was in Montreal last week, off the cuff here, but they have this really cool like tribute. They have like all the Montreal Canadiens legends, all the greats. They have like plaques This is, let's say, Maurice Richard. This is what he accomplished in his time. Here is Howie Moran. This is what he accomplished. Patrick Waugh, Jacques Plante, all just outside for the public to take in. I've never seen that in an NHL arena before. I thought that was so cool.
I love Bell Center. I've actually been there. I saw the Islanders play there once upon a time. And
when was that?
Oh, that would have been the fall of 2000 and let's say 12 or 13. Somewhere in around there. Yeah. Maybe 11 or 12. Anyways, I was there on the Crown Royals dime, as a matter of fact. We had taken a couple.
Crown Royal paid for you to go?
Yeah.
Nice.
We had taken a couple of winners as part of a radio contest. And hilarious story. We're staying at Hotel Cristal in downtown Montreal. Beautiful.
Where is that in relation to the arena?
About within a 5-minute walk.
Okay.
Like it's really close to the barn. And so we had a lot of time to go and walk around. Weather was still nice. But it was pushing up against Halloween. It was late October. And all of a sudden, there's a knock at my door, and a guy shows up. I don't know if you're familiar with the show Reno 911.
Nope.
Okay, it was a show about the about the police, the state troopers there in Reno, and they had these really short, very. You were talking about the 3-inch shorts that you wanted to wear.
Oh yeah.
These were maybe half-inch shorts that this guy was wearing, shiny gold with the matching vest. Full aviator glasses, mustache, and the hat. And I opened up the door and I said, "You're an hour early." He said, "I got the wrong room." And I said, "You got to take me to whatever room you're going to because I want to see whoever A, ordered you or who you're partying with."
So he was working.
He was working. No, he was Halloween party. They were going to a costume party because it was close to Halloween.
Who ordered the Dancing Bear?
You know, the what? The down on St. Cat's?
No. You know the Dancing Bears?
The dancing. I'm familiar with some of the lovely ladies clubs on St. Cat's.
Somebody leave in the comment section. I'm sure people know. The Dancing Bear. Who ordered the Dancing Bear? Somebody knows. This is going to be good when we rewatch this back on Sunday. I wonder if Candace knows what the Dancing Bear is.
I'm assuming it's probably a meme of a very large, hairy gay man dancing on screen. Am I accurate?
No, but there is a little bit of costumes involved. And anyway, I was going to make one more comment.
That's one of my favorite memories of Montreal. Recent memories of Montreal.
Any other memories?
Montreal, I got lost. Keep in mind, my parents my father lives about an hour outside of Montreal. I'll tell you a quick story. So they have the annual Formula One Grand Prix at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve and on the island there. And my father was a Formula One fan, diehard. Like back in the old days where you had to program your VHS machine to make sure it started recording at 2 a.m. when the race was over in London or wherever it may be. And so when my dad was watching the race on tape, it was no bothering my dad. So I grew up watching Formula One on Sundays. I remember I got to an age, I was single, had some money in my pocket. I'm like, I'm going to surprise my dad. I'm going to take him to that race. He's never been to a live race before. So I show up on his doorstep, give him a hug, and I'm like, guess what I got? He's like, oh, you're going to the race? I said, we're going to the race. Yeah, like Formula One. Here we are, finally. And he goes, I don't want to go. What are you talking about? I spent all this money. Like, we got prime tickets, like, all weekend. Like, we can go anywhere we want, access everywhere. And he's like, if we go to the race, I only get to see one corner. I can sit on my couch. I can go to my fridge. I can go to the bathroom. I can see every corner. I got the commentator. I don't want to go. And so I took my mom.
You got to get him on the show.
Funny enough, though, that was before I met my wife. She was at the exact same race, and we were sitting probably about I'd say a 3-iron away from each other. About 200 yards on opposite sides of the track.
Not quite comparable, but I feel the level of disappointment you had there because I remember last chick that I dated in Winnipeg for about 2 years, when she gassed me off her Spotify premium account, I felt that same level of like, oh, come on, man.
All this work I put in, all this money I've spent.
I literally was just at the gym. All of a sudden, I'm listening to some like Limp Bizkit and then whatever, some pop music comes on. Then 5 seconds later, it's like, you've been logged out. I was like, oh, I'm going to log out. Nope, I got the boot. Gassed me off the Spotify. I guess she wasn't too fun when I sent her packing.
Oh, boy. I love Montreal. Great city.
Did you notice, dude, Demi-god? Demidov, you confused me with what his real name is.
No, it's going to go with Demi-god. Everyone will know who you're talking about.
Did it not seem like he was shooting pucks in the parking lot? He was shooting from the loading dock. He was up in the rafter. Everything was on net with that guy.
You know what's funny, though? He only got credit for 3 shots on net that game.
He was buzzing, though.
Yeah.
He looked fantastic. Quick feet, quick hands. I love that.
How could you not when everyone is literally, like it goes up probably about 40 decibel in the Bell Center every time he steps on the ice? How do you not feel that?
And at, what, 21,000, 22,000?
Easily. Oh, yeah, it was a sellout. And then you lose in a shootout. That sucks.
Montreal and Washington, and then you'd have Toronto and Ottawa, a repeat of the 2004 when Patrick Lean let in those 3 softies, more softies than a lady doing some sun tanning on Grouse Mountain in Vancouver, sitting in the sun too much, and all of a sudden those double Ds are down to, you want to talk about disappointment, like the Spotify premium account.
I think it's interesting that for the first time in NHL history, all original 6 teams from the United States did not make playoffs, including the Rangers, the Bruins, and the Red Wings all failed to make play, and the Blackhawks all failed to make playoffs.
Rangers.
Yeah, that's what I said. So Rangers,
Yeah.
Bruins, Blackhawks,
Detroit.
Yes. Jeez, you're throwing me in circles here. I said them all the first time. Check the tape.
I watched a stroke happen right in front of me.
Yeah, I think that's wild.
You need a nitro cold brew? I think you could use a coffee.
No, I'm telling you, man. I was actually there to seeing Sydney earlier on today. Sun shining there on McGillivray Boulevard, and everyone's out getting their coffee. I love it. It was great. Weather was fantastic in Winnipeg today.
She makes a great cold brew.
She sure does. Shout out to Sydney.
Have you heard of Sidney Crosby's new business endeavor?
I saw a headline. I didn't click on it. Enlighten me.
So his new business endeavor is a Swiss watch company called Norquain Watches. It's a bunch of former NHL pros that have put some money together. I guess Sid likes the watches. They threw him some money. He's now going to be endorsing Norquain Watches.
Wait, say it again.
Norquain Watches. Norquain. Watches. Swiss watch company.
Interesting. I thought you said Norquay at first. That was an old ski company, if memory serves me correctly. Anyways.
They sell tires too, by the way.
I'm curious to see. That is that's a very niche market. I'm curious to see how high-end they go or how low-end they go. I'm curious to see what market they go after.
I'd be curious too. I feel like Sid hasn't done anything like endorsement-wise. Like he's done a little bit of Gatorade, a little bit of Reebok, maybe not as much now they've gone CCM as in the back nine, but I haven't seen him do any endorsement stuff in a bit.
If he, once he's done retiring, then I think he'll start dipping his toe in. I'm pretty sure he's done stuff locally in Pittsburgh and whatnot. But, I think he's been more of the NHL's ambassador. They eat up a lot of his time and make sure that he's well compensated to not take as many endorsements. But I think once he retires, that's when you'll see him he'll probably end up being a model for his own watch company.
He's a good-looking dude. You know what? Can I be honest with you about Sidney Crosby? I remember when he came in the show, 05, 06. And I kind of hated him. You know, like this young little punk.
You're talking when you say in the show, you mean the NHL, not this show.
No, in the NHL. We'll have him on the show one day. But Sidney Crosby comes into the National League, and he's this young punk. He's whining, he's complaining. I remember when the Philadelphia Flyers fans put Crosby's face in the urinal so that everybody could like piss on him in the men's washrooms. I thought that was funny. But as time has gone on, I kind of like Sid a lot more. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the maturity. Maybe it's just the respect of like everything that he's accomplished. I've become a little bit of a fan. I don't know about you.
Well, they just voted, the NHLPA, his peers voted him the most complete player in the entire league for the 5th year in a row. So despite the fact that he maybe got accused of being a whiner and all this kind of stuff, we've seen all the trauma that he's gone through in his career between the concussions and he's had to take a total of maybe a year and a half, 2 years off throughout his career, and still put up the numbers and the amount of mugs that he has. I mean, he's gained and earned everyone's respect. And in the polar opposite, when Ovechkin came in, he was more of the brash, look at me, look at me, look at me. And so you had these two very polarizing, not necessarily polar opposite characters, but two that were criticized for different things as far as who's going to carry the mantle and be that ambassador of the league. And I think they've both done a great job in their own right of promoting the league in their own way.
You think with as a fan, Sid's like, he's whining, he's complaining because he's so into it and he just wants to win. And then Ovi's the showman. He's the big sell. He's the great style, the tongues, the flop, the tinted visor, the big goals, the nasty finishes. And Sid's just getting it done. It's not as flashy.
I think for Alex, it was, I'm having fun doing this. And Sidney was, this is all I do. This is just what I do, period. And I think a lot of the complaining was, if everyone's not going to be as fast as me, they can't just pull me down. That's not fair. You know, he knows he's faster than everybody. He knows he's better than everybody. You'll never hear him say it. But the fact that he had so many hurdles in his way and the league was just the league, in his brain, he's like, this isn't fair. I'm faster than everybody. If they can't, they're not allowed to do that. And that's where the complaining came in.
Also, we do not know who his girlfriend is. It is Kathy something. She's a U.S. model, by the way. I can't remember her last name off the top of my head, but she's a U.S. model, and it is public. There's only like 2 pictures of them online that I was able to uncover. Very private, though. You are correct on that.
Wow. Well, you look at you sleuth.
Did you see, though, your boy Pat Mcafee had Sid on to throw a football?
Yeah,
you see that?
Nailed it. It was awesome. He did a little live show in Pittsburgh there, raised a whole bunch of money for charity. He had Shane Gillis on, but out of all the guys to throw, they had a big net set up at the end of the stage, and McAfee's kind of walking around chatting with everybody, telling jokes. And then he had a few of the boys come out, and Sid drops one in the middle of the net, Yeah, it was great. It was awesome. I love it. Again, I love how humble Sidney is. That's one polar opposite in comparison to Alex, where, well, it's been a long time since I played football, and we'll see how this goes, and he nails it and still kind of humble. It's great.
What
it's
a specimen. Because when he was being humble, I was listening to that, and I took that at face value. He probably hasn't played football in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he has no skills,
Just
right?
a natural athlete.
Like you and I don't know about you. I've never really played any competitive baseball ever. And if I was to go and throw a baseball, it'd be awful. If I was to go throw a football, I would not be hitting that target. And I figured he's kind of in the same boat, but absolute specimen, right down the middle, bullseye.
Yeah, it was a perfect, perfect spiral too. Good for him.
I think even Pat was like, "Oh my God, this dude just nailed this." This 20 yards out?
Yeah, and Shane Gillis came on as well, and he donated $50,000 and matched McAfee's donation to the Special Olympics in Pennsylvania. So, no, listen, man, Pat McAfee, I give him so much credit. You want to talk about a guy that figured out how to do it after retirement? Woo!
Pat is the man.
Good for him. Good for him.
Do you know his story, though? Like the start to finish story of he's playing for the Colts, retires, and then where does he get to get to today?
I think it's kind of a similar story as far as Joe Rogan. He just decided to throw up some microphones and drag his buddies in. Like, he had a boatload of money, so he made an investment in a nice studio, started rolling on YouTube, and eventually ESPN was like, yo, we want your numbers, man. And he's like, let me do what I want. And they said, okay, come on in. They've had some hurdles along the way trying to figure each other out and what's right and what's the right brand for ESPN and what's the right brand for Pat McAfee. But it seems like they figured it out.
You think that this is going to be sustainable long term?
It's one of their top-rated shows.
I love you mentioned it to me off the air, but how he said, I'm going to keep wearing the wife beater. I'm wearing the beater. That's not changing. Can we get you in a shirt? No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm not trying to compare situations here, but when they decided to put my radio show on TV,
that was big though for Winnipeg, especially. At the time.
It was, yeah. And there was people picking that up in North Dakota and Minnesota, and if you had the right cable package, you could get it across the country. And we had a lot of people from across Canada texting in on a regular basis. But I remember them telling me the same thing. They're like, "Okay, you can't wear a hat anymore." I'm like, "That's what I do. I wear hats. I have hats." And so they're like, "You can't do it." I said, "I'm going to." And they said, "Okay." And the way we went, I just wore hats. I'm not saying it's not a wife beater by any stretch, but it's a little unconventional when it comes to television.
I guess the big wigs of Rogers in the TikTok comment section have something in common. They both hate you wearing hats.
Whatever.
Both are the mentality of a bunch of 13-year-olds, but
my family looks good in hats. What can I say? Sue me.
For anybody that hasn't seen your morning show, because obviously it's off the air, it's been off TV for a long time.
Yeah, it's on YouTube now.
I love the little bit you guys would do when you had like the traffic report guy, because typically you'd have, hey, this is Travis here. I'm on top of 201 Portage, and if you see right here, it's cloudy. You'd have some dude in some beat down shit bucket Chevy Cavalier just pull off on the side of McGillivray, pull off on the side of Pembina, Portage, whatever. Yeah, so it's looking a little snowy. As you see, there's some snow on the road. They haven't quite plowed it. You can kind of see it, and as he's like zooming out the iPhone 3 and he's pointing, he sees his like finger in the camera right there. It looks like some storms coming in. Back to you, Dave. Like, you guys had the greatest TV show ever.
I'm glad you have fond memories of it, because I had a fun time doing that for the 2 years that it was on the air.
Were you ever nervous though when you were doing that show?
Dude, I get nervous before we crack the mic for doing this show. And it's no different than when you take the anthem before a hockey game, right? If you're not getting the butterflies anymore, it's time to hang them up. Truthfully.
At least for this, you could say the most messed up thing to ever be said in the human language in the course of human history, and we can just chop it. But with your live show, it's like, it's out there. We're live.
That is the one thing that I will say that live radio has, and even over streaming as well, is that there's nothing like cracking that mic and knowing, okay, there's no takebacks here. And it's a gamble every time, especially when you've got a piece of tinfoil between your brain and your mouth.
Have you ever had a moment where you said something and you thought, oh, and then there's like a little silence as you're...
More times than I can count.
Well, if I'm assuming you've had many, and it probably would have helped you had a pair of Sheath Underwear, the presenting sponsor for this show. What do you think about that, Dave?
I think I should probably keep a couple extra pairs when I go live on the radio.
Do you think you'd still be on live TV, your morning show on TV, if you had a pair of Sheath Underwear back then?
Oh, I wish that technology existed back then in the stone age of TV.
Well, you may not have a morning radio show, and you may not be able to get on live TV like this good-looking son of a gun, but... even if you're not the jet-flying son of a gun across from me, you can get an amazing pair of underwear. American-made, the best money can get from the team at Sheath. Sheath has the dual pouch technology. It is a separated, segregated compartment for your dick and your balls, because there's nothing worse, especially when they're freshly shaved, by the way, when they're sticking together like a piece of gum under the visiting team's bench, peeling off. It is horrible. Sheath puts everything where it needs to be, so it is physically impossible for anything to touch. You factor that in with their bamboo cooling mesh, which is comfortable. It aerates. It is fantastic. You have the greatest underwear ever to exist on this planet. And if for some reason you're still on the fence, me and Dave are going to get you 20% off by going to the link in the video description. You click that link and use the code BISCUIT, 69, BIZKIT 69, Biscuit 69 will get you 20% off the greatest underwear, the greatest investment you'll ever make, whether it's for you, for your dad, for your missus to steal, because trust me, every chick I've dated the last 4 years has stolen countless pieces of Sheath underwear out of my inventory.
I find that weird. I've never had a girl that's worn my underwear.
But you've been married the entire time we've been working with Sheath. I've had a load
even
of
back
rotation.
then, though, man. I don't know. I guess I just don't date women that have the same waist size as me.
I like it a little thicker, yeah. That's my my preference. Little meaty, a little more filled out. But anyway, thank you. What? Thank you to Sheath for sponsoring the show. What? Say it.
Nothing. We're good. Moving on. What do you got?
Number one, have you seen the video of Hellebuyck skating around after the Jets' last home game with no pads on, just skates?
No.
So there's a video of him floating around.
Is he that good now? It's like, I don't need pads.
Well, I think they were giving like jerseys off the back.
Yeah.
But this guy's skating around, and nobody's noticed this. I haven't seen anybody, especially the fake mainstream news, talk about this. This guy has his skates completely undone. Laces are just hanging out there, and he's skating around like Darryl Evans. You ever seen Darryl Evans skates?
I used to do that in practice all the time.
He used to play with no laces, so you know what I'm talking about.
Well, okay, so I do that in practice, and one of the reasons you do it is, man, if you ever want to really know where your edges are, that's the way to do it. I remember when I was a band, probably Pee-wee, I would take as much shin pad tape as I could to lock up my ankles, just because I was just a Bambi. I didn't have the ankle strength. But then I was recommended to me like, hey, not only should you not do that, you should probably take your laces out of the top two eyelets and lace it down there. Really get to know your edges. I became an unbelievable, and I'm not just pumping my own tires here, I became an unbelievable skater after that, because you really know how you can dictate your edges. When I go out public skating, yeah, I'm not putting laces in. No, seriously, it believe me when I tell you, even if you want to go lace them up after that, it gives you a whole new perspective on where your edges are.
I want to get some video of you skating to see that.
Done.
All right.
Get me some skates. As of right now, I am sans skates.
Let's go to a stick and puck, and let's get you some skates first off.
Sure.
Like the ankle strength to be able to do that, though, and I'm sure you would attest to it, even Darryl Evans, to go skating around without laces, you have to have such strong ankles, and especially as a goaltender. I couldn't believe it when I was seeing him skating around with no laces in his skates and obviously going to give a fan his jersey, which I thought was crazy. I also have an insane stat for you. To give you an idea, so Hellebuyck was drafted in the 2012 draft, 130th overall. I got about a dozen goalies, believe it or not, that were picked ahead of him. Are you ready for this list?
Yep.
Goalies that were picked ahead of him. Andrei Vasilevsky.
Makes sense.
Malcolm Subban. Oscar Dansk. Anthony Stolarz. Jonas Korpisalo. Probably haven't heard of this one.
I remember Korpisalo.
Daniel Altschuler, Carolina Hurricanes prospect.
Don't
John
remember him.
Gillies, retired.
Yep.
Winnipeg icon Chris Streeter. He's so pissed off he never got the lifetime McDonald's that Andrew Hammond got. Jake Patterson. Remember him?
No.
Played for Team Canada, 2013 World Juniors. Friend of the show, personal friend of mine, Matt Murray. Frederick Anderson, the Great Dane. Big, meaty, big shoulders in that guy. And Sean McGuire.
All in that same draft.
All drafted ahead of Hellebuyck. And then there was Hellebuyck at 130. So Vasilevsky, Subban, Dansk, Stolarz, Korpisalo, Altschuler, Gillies, Dreger, Patterson, Murray, Anderson, McGuire, Hellebuyck.
Wow.
130th overall. What a steal.
Is that, are we floating in Tom Brady category there?
With the seasons he's had, the last 3-4 years of dominance, yeah, I think you got to put him up there. What do you think?
Well, if he wins the Hart this year and gets the mug, yeah, I think he's definitely maybe in the conversation. As far as not being the greatest of all time, but as far as being that good that late in the draft and being that much of a late bloomer, I think he's in the conversation. But I think the thing that frustrates me is Darcy Kemper his name's being thrown out there like, hey, why isn't Darcy Kemper being named for a Hart Trophy? Blah, blah, blah. The fact that Leon Draisaitl and Darcy Kemper are in the conversation is because they've had really good seasons. Like Kemper, his stats are really not that much far behind Hellebuyck's. They're really not. Like they're within a percentile in all categories. The Draisaitl one, though, I'm tired of hearing it. I really are. Like I'm not saying Edmonton was fighting for a playoff position, but there was a couple of tight assholes, towards the end of the season there, with McDavid being out and him having an injury and whatnot. Like he had a good season. I'm not taking that away from him. He had a good season. But Connor Hellebuyck just won his team the President's Trophy. So, I mean, I think the argument's over. Period. The Jets do not win the President's Trophy without Connor Hellebuyck. The Oilers likely still make playoffs where they are without Leon Draisaitl.
I don't know about that. Have you seen the fall from grace the Oilers have had the last couple of weeks without Connor McJesus and then Draisaitl?
Right, okay, but as long as you've got one of them, like with McDavid, he would adjust his game to make sure that his team's getting in the playoffs. He's that good. I think Draisaitl is a very nice addition. He's the Scottie Pippen to Michael Jordan in the Oilers organization. He truly is. Let's be honest. He's good, not taking anything away. But the fact that he's that highly touted for the Hart, I don't think he's done enough for his team. I think it's a runaway for Connor Hellebuyck, period. He won the President's Trophy. Argument's over.
We're going to break down all the playoff matchups for this episode for the rest of the show, plus the voicemail coming up, so don't worry. If you love the voicemail, we will get to it. Do you want to start with LA and Edmonton then, since we're on the topic?
Oh, I can't wait to go at it again. Now, there's one thing they say, this should go back to 1v8, 2v7, 3. No, this is great. I love seeing year after year after year of the same teams in the first round. Good. Figure it out. That's if you can't get out of the first round against the same team you play against every single year, like the Jets 1.0 couldn't get against the Oilers, and the one year they didn't get them, they got the Flames instead the year they went on to win the Cup in 89. Sorry, if you can't, you should be tailoring your entire roster for that first round playoff match if you know you're going up against that team again. What are the missing puzzle pieces that stopped us from winning last year? Fill those puzzle pieces. I love the fact that they're playing again.
22, 23, 24, 25, 4 years straight.
I'm taking
Oilers
LA.
and Kings. This is the first time, though, I believe that the Oilers are not going to have home ice. They've had home ice in every series, and now they're on the road.
I'm taking LA.
Did you see the Philip Deneau comment the other day when they got the shit kicking against Edmonton?
No.
So the Kings...
Yeah, it was 5-0 final?
Yep, yeah. Kings spank them 5-0. They asked Philip Deneau, what do you think? He's like, well, dude, they're icing their American League team, and they're just out here trying to hurt us. Don't worry. We'll take care of a game one in the playoffs. Like, what a roast.
I love that. I love
That's good for playoff intensity, though.
That is fantastic whiteboard material for the locker room, 100%.
Darnell Nurse. How do you spell American League? Aren't you a doc?
What's an acronym?
Everybody know how to spell?
Sometimes I like to use big words so I can be photosynthesis.
Hey, Darnell, she's at $9 million for some spelling lessons, fella. What? You see that 3-piece chicken thigh combo and a soda he gave Quentin Byfield?
No.
He gave him 3 for the price of $1. He gave him 3 right to the back of the head, right by the side of the net.
Well, listen, he's got to make himself useful somehow, I suppose.
What a nightmare they have going on in Edmonton. My goodness.
Yeah, and Draisaitl's up for the Hart.
Who's going to be more disappointed? Me, when I got gassed off the Spotify premium account, or the Oilers fans when they see how this first round series is going to go? Because, to be honest, I think having Skinner injured is great. It's honestly fantastic. Get the guy out of there come playoff time. Mm-hmm. You got Calvin Pickard, who also, he's not an A goalie. He's not a starter in the National Hockey League, I don't believe. I think he's like a good American League goalie. But again, as we've discussed, they've solved all the problems, although the back end is aging like milk or ricotta cheese or plain Greek yogurt. 6-year aged Parmesan in the wheel, in the fridge. Mm-hmm. But the goaltending ain't great. McDavid and Draisaitl probably injured. They're on a little bit of a skid. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm too optimistic about the Oilers right now.
This is the classic Stanley Cup Finals hangover. I guarantee you, they're coming up on a year now going, oh my God, have we got 4 series in us again? This is where you find out if you got what it takes.
I think the video the other day of Stuart Skinner trying to smash his stick and being unsuccessful, like he went up to the bench and he's trying to like pigeon fork it into the door and he couldn't break it. Mm-hmm. I thought that perfectly sums up how everything's going. This guy can't even break his stick.
Right.
So that's the Oilers and Kings. On the topic of rivalries, though, I did want to mention this. I need to see a goalie fight in the playoffs this year. I want to see some action.
Dude, we've already been over this. It is illegal. That's not allowed.
Where? Well, you obviously you remember Ray Emery, the Razor, of
course.
Remember when he went to grab Braden Holtby and he just dummied this guy, went to work on him.
Yeah.
Obviously, Braden Holtby, he had the glove strap on. So if you don't know, some goalies they have like a nylon strap, easy to take off. Some guys have the leather buckle and they tighten it up so you cannot take the glove off. So
like Captain America's shield, I got you.
Basically, and so Emery goes down, grabs Holtby, and he just starts feeding this guy. This guy's trying to beat Emery up with the glove, and then one hand that's as he's in motion getting spun around by one of the toughest goalies to ever play. I don't even remember. This guy's fighting Andrew Peters. The guy was like 6'7", the longest arms, like an absolute gorilla. And I remember the video. I know it was filmed on a potato back in 2007, but Andrew Peters is punching Emery in the head. And as you see the camera turn, he's just smiling at him. Like that evil smile of, I don't even care. And then I remember when he was in Ottawa, he's fighting Brian McGrattan in practice. The big earn, one of the toughest guys to ever play the game. Like this guy was nails. I get it. He passed a couple years ago, and they don't make him like
awful death too. Terrible death.
Yeah, I mean, rest in peace. I think we're gonna have his goalie coach Eli Wilson on the show.
Love to talk to him
over the summer. I'm excited. Goalie coach for the Ottawa Senators during the playoff run, the Cup run, back in 06-07 to the Ducks. But they literally don't make goalies tough like they used to. Although Skinner is 235. I know he doesn't look like it, but he is 235 pounds.
Oh, he's a
6'4".
big boy. We know that. Yeah, he's a huge dude. That mustache, I think, is at least 30 pounds.
Shave it off, the guy's back under 200 pounds.
Yeah, you always lose a little bit of weight in the playoffs, right?
Tampa Bay and Florida. Any thoughts on that one?
I think they'll be lucky to get a sellout between the two of them.
You think so? You don't think fans are going to come down?
As long as they're offering 2-for-1 with a autographed jersey and a plate of nachos when you come in.
Free hot dog, free parking?
I hope it does well, man. I really do. Who do you take in that one? Obviously, Florida.
Tampa's hot, though. Tampa's really hot.
Yeah, but you're going up against the defending champs.
And Vasilevsky's had one of the best seasons in his career. Obviously, you have Bob as well. Also, did you hear about the wine story?
No.
So apparently, after every single shutout that Bob gets, Bob goes to an expensive winery and gets a real nice bottle of wine and then multiply it by 23 and gives one to every single guy on the team and says, guys, thank you so much. Here's wine. Thank you for the shutout.
That reminds me a lot of quarterbacks in the National Football League. If they go an entire game without getting sacked, they take their O-line out for a meal. I think that's a great habit to get into, saying, hey, my success is because of your guys' hard work. Thank you very much. I think that's a wonderful tradition. I hope that catches fire. Even down to the lower rungs of junior and whatnot, take the boys out for a soda after the game. I think that's a great relationship to have.
You know who you stole that from? Henrik Lundqvist used to do the exact same thing.
With the wine? That makes sense. He's a wine drinker. I knew that.
Goose, fellas get a nice bottle of wine. He had great style. I remember seeing him in person one time. I've never talked about this. I saw him one time outside the NHL's most hated hotel, the Fairmont Winnipeg, downtown Winnipeg. And, dude, that guy's salad, I don't think I've ever seen a salad just locks and flow and just – it was like that Jesus moment, like the gates of heaven open and like that moment as you see this guy's beautiful hair and the scarf and the jacket. And I just thought, oh, my God. I want to be that guy. Like, that is the man. Like, I want to be him. Women want to be with him. What a treat. He's got a wife already. But
related to Henrik Stenson, if memory serves correctly.
Really?
Yeah, PGA Tour player.
I had Toronto and Ottawa. Do you want to cue that one up too?
Oh, man. Listen,
Battle of Ontario.
If Toronto doesn't make it out of that round, wow.
There's a chance.
Wow.
Brady to Chuck. Hunting down pucks. Hounding the Leafs. Linus Ullmark catches a little bit of fire. The sneaky, pesky Sens against the Toronto Titanics. Anything's possible.
If Toronto wins, they win in 7. If Ottawa wins, they win in 5.
You remember the 04 series? You were around for that one, right?
I was alive.
Okay. Game 7, when Patrick Lean let in all the softies. I remember Joe Newendike queuing it up from the blue line. Matt Sundin. I think that basically ended Patrick Leam's career after like a good 2-year stint.
My old neighbor was on that hockey team.
Who's that?
Chris Phillips.
Chris Phillips, really?
Yeah.
He was on the Cup final team too.
Sure was.
Ooh, what's he doing now?
Chris actually has a couple of restaurants in the Ottawa area. He's got his own beer company, Big Rig. Yeah, he's done okay. He was smart. He was actually working really hard during his career too to make sure that he was had something to do once he retired.
And so there's Big Rig Brewing?
Yeah.
And where's it based out of?
Ottawa.
And so he's making beer?
Yeah. And last time I checked.
Should have him on the show.
He was tied up with Don Cherry for a while too. They were opening up. Remember when Grapes had his own franchise of restaurants?
Oh, he's got one in Prince Rupert still. Don Cherry's sports bar.
Okay,
sports
so
bar
yeah,
grill.
he was a partner with that for a while. Like he's always had his fingers in hospitality.
Remember when Cherry was trying to get into politics too?
Don?
Yeah, I remember there's a period of time.
Did he run for MP? I vaguely remember this.
Well, there's a video that popped up.
We are all over the place today. This is great.
There's a video that popped up in my feed the other day. It must have been from like the late 80s, maybe early 90s, and he was basically grilling all the Canadian politicians on nobody has Canada's interests. He's like, I'm a patriot, I'm a nationalist, I love this country, I would turn the ship around so fast and I get this running the way that it should be. I'm going to get it done. And then obviously he never got it done. I'm sure that there's a lot of pressure in there, but he would have been an amazing politician.
He would have been divisive, that's for sure.
Good or bad?
Oh, divisive is, one good side, bad side.
To
me, politicians are the ones that are getting you thinking about politics, so I think he would have been good at it.
Have you ever noticed, and I'm just thinking about this, Don Cherry, Gretzky, Bobby Orr, like some of the greats, like the true greats of hockey, they all looked at things conservatively. I mean, you have your couple exceptions like the Colin Kaepernicks, who's not really overly respected. But
well, look, don't forget that one of your brethren, Ken Dryden, ended up serving as a member of Parliament for a number of years after his tenure in the NHL.
Was he liberal or conservative?
He ran under the Liberal banner, yeah.
I mean, the Liberals changed quite a bit from back then to now.
Well, look, the Conservatives have changed a whole lot. Every party has changed. I mean, even the Green Party is asking to dig for oil these days.
Oh, jeez. That's a dumpster fire. You think my career is a dumpster fire? Imagine being part of the Green Party of Canada.
They have a co-leader. They have 2 leaders as part of that party. I don't know how that's going to work if they win.
We're so shit. We don't know what we're going to do, so let's just throw them both in and see what sticks.
Okay, your turn.
And the PPC's catching us. Shit. What are we going to do?
Oh,
this guy doesn't even have a seat.
Old Mad Max Bernier. What are we, a week and a half away from the election? A week and a day.
He's running out of Portage, isn't he?
Max Bernier?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Out of the plap.
Would anybody be interested to have him on the podcast? I think there's a realistic chance we could probably get him on the show.
Great. Load it up. You want to do the French portion?
No. I speak no French.
I'll handle that.
I'll translate. But no, in all seriousness, though, Wayne Gretzky, huge Trump guy. Bobby Orr, huge Trump guy.
Yeah, the word huge.
Huge. It's huge. They're huge fans. Never been a bigger fan. They've always said they're a bigger fan than Wayne Gretzky of me. No.
I had the greatest one, the greatest supporter of all time. They call him the Great One. You ever heard of him? But seriously, Gretzky went to the inauguration. Bobby Orr was an advocate for for Trump as well. Mm-hmm. Cherry as well saw things conservatively. You don't see any of these incredibly iconic athletes, some of the greatest of all time.
No, instead you see entire teams wanting to skip the White House. You know what I mean?
The only one that I can think of is Braden Holtby. He's probably the only liberal that I can think of that, at least in the NHL, has come out more like that.
A few NBA teams skipped going to the White House in Trump's first tenure as president, and I believe who was the Boston Bruins goaltender?
Timmy Thomas.
Timmy Thomas decided to skip it when Obama was in there, I believe, or was it Bush?
Obama. He was a hard conservative.
Yeah.
He's like, no, sir, I did not vote for you.
There you go.
He was a different cat. I heard a story from one of the reps at Bauer. This is a while ago. So Timmy Thomas, he came in. You remember what we call it Mutt style, where he's got like a Bauer stick and a CCM glove,
sure.
and a little all over the place. I mean, he's a little bit of a different Cheeto, special snowflake, if you will. And so the year he won the Vezina.
Wow, a goalie being weird. Who would have thunk it?
Different, right? So the year he wins the Vezina, he's using Bauer equipment. And Bauer at the time says, we'll cut you a nice little check. We want you to be exclusively Bauer. You just won the Vezina. You got to be the face of our stuff. Cool. Sounds deal. Thanks for the check. But I'm very specific on what I want. It's cool, Timmy. We'll take care of you. Well, fast forward a year and a half. It's at the point where this guy's ordering like 15 gloves at a time and calling the rep, yep, it's not the same. I need something different. This isn't it. So the rep says, you know what, Tim, I'm going to come down to you at the TD Garden. I want you to explain to me, and you can be as blunt as you want. Tell me what's wrong with the glove, and let's fix it. Let's get you exactly what you need, because you're one of the best goalies on the planet at this point in time. So he flies down for morning skate, watches him skate. He goes through all 15 gloves during practice. He just didn't like them, all the new gloves they got him. And he comes off the ice. Tim, what's wrong? Just didn't feel it. Well, can you tangibly tell me what is wrong with the gloves? It just doesn't feel the same. It's just different. And he couldn't tangibly tell it, and he said, I need 15 more for tomorrow. And they cut the contract. They terminated it right there. He was no longer a Bauer athlete, which is why during the Cup run, he went to Vaughn, he went to Reebok, he went to CCM, and then he went to 15 other companies the next year. And there was that one period of time where he was using green pads with, I think, a red set of gloves and then the white helmet. He was a special kind of bumblebee.
Kind of reminds me of Cole Trickle a little bit. I know that name will fall on deaf ears in this case, but it was a role that Tom Cruise played in a movie called Days of Thunder, where he's having a moment with his chief engineer at a bar, and he basically says, look, I don't know much about cars. And he's like, well, it's understandable. You're a driver. He's like, no, like when you say, is it tight or is it loose? I have no idea what that means. And so he says, okay, we're just going to have to figure out a vocabulary so you can explain it to me how the car's feeling. That's what Bauer probably should have done. Is like, all right, you don't know how to put this into words, so let's break this down so we can make it better for you. Instead of just going, this guy's a diva, we're done. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's only on Tim Thomas.
I feel like Timmy Thomas wanted things a very specific way. And I mean, you look at the White House thing where he's like, I'm not going. And then same thing with the Bauer. You gave me 15 gloves, I need 15 more new ones the following day. I
think he's likely, if I had to guess, I think he's probably a high functioning autistic. That he gave me those vibes.
I agree.
Yeah.
I would love to have him on the show. I mean, there's so many guys I'd love to have on the show. I think we could have almost anybody on the show and have a conversation with them. If there's somebody you want specifically, leave a comment, because we're doing an amazing summer series. We got guys like Dale Weiss, Bill Ranford. We got some a high net worth lawyer that does with a lot of divorces for professional athletes. Some really great stories coming up there. Ido Walney. Who else have we had?
Who was the author that we had out of Toronto?
Rich Cooper as well. I know he's made the comment section a couple times. We got a whole series. We're doing about 15, 16 different interviews with former and current players. Obviously, Matt will be on the show as well, part of summer interview series. So if there's somebody you want to see.
A couple of guys from the Missing Curfew podcast are going to be on.
Jordan Schmaltz,
Yeah.
Jay Schwiss, he's going to be up on the show. Who else have we done? We've done so many interviews. It's starting to lose track. Former teammate Justin Schmidt, tough guy out of Watertown. Oh yeah, we've got a star-studded list. But we got voicemails that are going to come up. I haven't seen anybody talk about this. The Matt Petgrave legal battle in the UK.
Yeah, that's kind of a forgotten situation. I'll jog your memory really quickly. This was the awful story from early in the season where over
2023, by the way.
Was it that long ago?
Almost 2 years ago,
My
yeah.
God. It was the hockey player who unfortunately took the skate high to the throat and ended up bleeding out on the ice and losing his life. And the player whose skate was the one that came up, he has been through the absolute ringer. They put him in jail, bailed out. They put him back in jail. He bails out. They put him back in jail. They put him on trial. Like, it's just a nightmare for this guy, and he's not allowed to leave the country.
Well, and this is the part that I don't hear anybody talking about as well. Like you mentioned, jailed and rebailed 8 different times since then. Since I think it was October, might have been November of 2023. But the part is, he's over in the UK. He's a Canadian citizen. He's working, playing for the team. Obviously, he's not playing. He's done. He's arrested. So he has no way to make any money because he needs a visa to get a job also. He's being bailed, rebailed. Hard to have anything happening there. And then also at some point, because he's not allowed to leave the country because he's investigated for murder, because the UK authorities, obviously say what you will about them, they think that this is an actual murder case. This was a purposeful murder, and they're keeping him until they, for whatever reason, find what they're looking for. I don't know the specifics of it because his legal team hasn't done any media appearances. Obviously, he's so busy getting jailed and rebailed or bailed, and that he's not doing anything either. But what a crazy situation. I don't understand how anybody could even think that that is possible, that, you could have a rough player. Okay, maybe he's a little bit of the dirtier guy. But when the game is happening so fast, to be able to kick your leg up like that and to murder somebody intentionally when fans are watching?
And again, you're accessing fairly recent memories if you say it was a couple of years ago. I remember this conversation, us having this conversation, and we talked about it, how that was a freak accident, and obviously he wasn't intending to murder the guy. Was he intending to hurt him? Probably. And we learned throughout the course of that story that he was kind of a serial offender when it came to coming in for that late hip check, backwards, getting his leg up, trying to get that hip out. And it sounds like this wasn't the first time that his skates had come above his waist. And so was it intentional to kill him? No. But was the hit intentional? I think that kind of became not his thing, but something that he had done more than once. So,
you think it's instinctual though? Like, from what I remember from the video, Johnson's cutting across the trolley tracks right down Main Street, head slightly down. My job as a defender is to try to get stick on puck, or at least try to get something in the body.
But not skate on neck, man. You're not a figure skater. Your skate shouldn't be up that high ever. Seriously.
And I'm not justifying that. I'm just saying that he's about to miss the hit maybe, or he bounced off the one guy, and my next instinct is, how do I get something on you to stop you cutting right across Rainbow Road and driving to the net?
It's not the ball on my foot. Never.
And again, I'm not trying to justify it because I'm not in that situation.
Sounds like you are.
Does it sound like I'm trying to justify
it? A little
bit,
yeah. I don't know. Anytime the skate comes up above the waist, man, I think that you've got to be upside down. Your head has to be on the ice for that to happen.
Leave a comment down below. I'm curious what the comment section thinks. We're about 2 years past that. The whole bail and then rebailing thing kind of makes me scratch my head a little bit. But, I mean, regardless, it's a terrible situation. I mean, you have the one guy.
Justice is blind, my friend. It's supposed to. At least it's supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
Want to do some voicemails?
One question for you real quick, by the way. Can we have a small moment of silence for Jagmeet Singh, world's smallest violin? This dude is traveling for the upcoming election on a bus that is probably lesser quality than I traveled on the Fed. And he's trying to win a provincial or a federal election with that.
I will be amazed if he wins his seat in Burnaby. How about that?
Guess what?
I hope your TikTok career works out.
But do you see the video of the tour bus, though?
No. Did he put some sledgehammers in it and make it look mean?
No, he didn't make it look mean, but it literally, so it's like an FPHL-style traveling bus where it looked like they ripped out some of the seats in the middle and put mattresses down. This is exactly what we did in Mississippi for traveling.
Yeah, that's not strange.
The vets sit on the mattresses, the rookies, or the backup goalie, myself included, sit in the chairs. So I'm assuming Jagmeet takes the mattresses, and all of his MPs and all of his staff, they all sit in the seats.
Dude, I'm telling you, when politicians start rolling for elections, they ride in style. Yeah, they might as well be on a rock bus. Like they got showers back there, they got a little kitchen. They're well taken care of there.
That's gonna be tough though when the competition's flying PJs, private jets to Prince Rupert, to Ottawa, to Edmonton, to Winnipeg in the same day, and you're on the old iron lung.
Curious to know if that's a lithium-powered bus. Just saying.
So we have some voicemails, as always. If you want to be a part of the show, we would love to hear your voice. We have a voicemail line. You can call in. It is 90 seconds. You can say whatever you want. We air all calls, positive or negative, and your voice can be on our show. Get some skin in the game. Don't be a nerd. Sit in the comment section, chopping it away. Get some skin.
They always, even the ones that come in negative, end up being positive by the end. So,
what do you guys think about Saskatoon being an AHL team for the Edmonton Oilers? It's relatively close. The weekend schedule keeps the Blades in town. I think Saskatoon could house an AHL team. Just my opinion. What do you guys think?
Love it. Way closer than Bakersfield.
I think it gives more of an excuse for Saskatoon to go build a new rink. Yeah, because Sasktel needs an upgrade.
You know what I feel bad for? I was just in Quebec City the other day taking my mom to the Chateau Frontenac, and I saw the Videotron Center.
Yeah.
Monster arena.
Beautiful.
You can see that almost anywhere in town. And I thought, what a shame if they don't get an NHL arena. I get the Remparts will be happy, but what it almost looks like a more circular version of Rexall Place.
It's beautiful.
Rexall Place.
Of Rogers.
Thank you. Rogers Place in Edmonton.
No, it's beautiful, man. I hope and pray they get one inside of the end of this decade, but we'll see.
How are we looking for time, by the way? Can I talk about Quebec City, or are we running tight on time?
Go for it.
So I was just in Quebec City with my mom. Chateau Frontenac. Spending a couple days for my new travel railway hotel series. The city itself, I found everybody speaking very good English.
Yeah. In Montreal or in Quebec?
Quebec City.
Okay.
Quebec City specifically.
You stuck to the touristy spots, didn't you?
I went down to Old Quebec.
Okay.
Everybody spoke English. It was fantastic.
Good.
The food, the culture, the people, the style, everything was awesome. I would be happily go back.
Yeah.
The only problem I think is it's less accessible because the flights are so expensive, the train is so long, and it's expensive to get there. If you're an NHL team though, you are an NHL player, you want to go to Quebec. Like walking the Dufferin Terrace, the St. Lawrence River, the culture, the food, the fans, the people. I would love to play in Quebec City.
It is probably the most beautiful small market NHL city that at least teams that have had an NHL city, the most beautiful out of all of them.
So I'm going to debunk your the NHL does not want to go back because it's so English or French fluent. I think there's a lot.
I don't think that's the only reason. I think there's a lot of other reasons. I think that's one of the reasons, though, because Montreal already has a very strict policy that their captain should, and they've had a few exceptions over the years, but their captain needs to speak French. I mean, when they had Brian Giant in there, I give him a lot of credit, man. Like, he went and took French lessons and did his absolute best with La Presse in Montreal. But Quebec's an even, like, it's have to.
You think that part of the issue, too, is that the talent that Quebec is producing for the National Hockey League is going down? So you're having less French players. So if you wanted to implement that rule, you'd have a lot less selection or have to have guys go learning French. How many guys are going to want to sign or go to a brand new team that implements that type of rule?
Well, the QMJ was famous for producing goaltenders, but an overabundance of goaltenders. But it's been a while since they've really come out with a good crop.
Pretty dead as far as all talent goes. What other reasons though? So there's the French part.
The travel.
What do you mean travel? As far as like it's kind of
the market size. Again, I mean, you look at Buffalo struggling. Winnipeg, smaller market. It's got a big barn with a population about the same as Winnipeg. And when you talk about that Canadian dollar, if it's not doing good, the team is an afterthought.
What happens first? The Buffalo Sabres make it back into the playoffs, or GTA 6 gets released?
Grand Theft Auto.
You think Grand Theft Auto
100%.
What about Grand Theft Auto 7?
Within a decade. I think that'll be a race to the finish.
But do you think if Buffalo folds, goes to Quebec City?
No.
You think no chance for Quebec City?
No, I think I don't think
the dollar improves.
Buffalo's not going anywhere. New York needs to keep will keep that team.
What if the dollar improves? Let's say pipe dream, some miracle happens. It's even for the first time since 2008, dollar for dollar ish.
The only place they're going is Hamilton. If they're moving to Hamilton
over Saskatoon, over Quebec City.
Yeah, because you keep the same fan base.
Ooh, yeah. Nope, that does make sense. I have to agree with you. That's
Next
logical.
Call.
Thanks for the call, by the way.
Hey, Dave and Trav. It's Adrian from Acton, Ontario.
Hey, Adrian.
I just want to say I'm a big fan of the show.
Thank you.
I've talked to Trav a lot on Instagram. You guys are great. I love that you're not afraid to say the things that the silent majority are thinking. You really address a lot of things that people are feeling, but just feel like they can't say. Also, just overall, the content you guys talking about hockey is great too. I also think you guys are very overhated, to be honest. I think you guys are doing great stuff, great show, and people love talking shit about Trav's like professional hockey career, which I think is like not cool because like I didn't play any hockey growing up, so it's like I cannot criticize really anyone. I'm not really in a position to criticize anyone. I got into hockey a little bit later, but anyways, I just wanted to say keep it up, boys. You guys are great, and I'm a big fan. I listen to you guys a lot on my commute to and back from work every day. So yeah, keep the good vibes going, boys.
Thanks.
Bathing in the compliments. Oh, like I said,
nice call, by the way.
I'm not good at receiving them, but I love hearing them.
Can I say too? Also, this is one thing I never understood, and this is something that maybe in the last like 2-3 years I've started to more adopt. Even if I don't like you, let's just say I hate you for a second.
That's a heavy word. That's a heavy word.
Let's say I hate you. You've been successful in radio more than I have been. So to use you as an example, even if I completely hate you and I think you're an absolute dirtbag, there is something because you have a better rated morning show than I do that I can take from you. Therefore, you have knowledge or you have some type of insight that I don't have. And if I could siphon that from you or take that off you, I could better myself. Whether I like you or not, there's some truth in that, no?
I would like for you to adopt that attitude when it comes to people who are speaking English to not quite the quality that you expect. That's somebody that has a second language. You don't. Take that same attitude.
So you're talking about like the foreigners and whatnot.
I'm just talking about you're putting it in a spot where I may not like you, but I have respect for you because at least you're doing something that I'm unable to do or can't do or haven't done.
But I can't deny your accomplishments that you have had the top morning show. So
right,
because
so the same idea. Here's somebody who has completely left their home, come to a new spot, and learned a brand new language and tried to make it work from scratch. Mm-hmm. That takes a lot of respect.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree.
Yeah.
And whether it's that, your morning show, professional, like there's always something you can take from those people. I think anyway. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm not the richest dude. I'm not the most successful dude. I'm trying to get there, but I think that's helping.
But he's 6'5" and handsome, so life sucks for him.
And sexy and humble. Don't forget it.
What up, boys? It's Larry Wonton following back up. So yeah,
I love this
Capitals game. And before they played the Blackhawks, Ovi was 3 goals away. I had tickets in my cart for $60. Normally the tickets are like $50, $40 for the 300 sections, whatever. Wow. So yeah. I work Sundays. It's actually currently Sunday, and I'm at work. And I was like, my job's not going to give me off last minute. I passed. Comes to find out, I was talking to my coworker after Ovi scored, and he said he would have covered for me. Ovi fucking scored the game I didn't go to. R.I.P. me, bruh. Straight up.
Like I said off the top, sometimes the story comes or the call comes in as negative and ends up being positive. That's a great story. That's still a story. When people talk about Ovi's goal, say, I had tickets to the game. I had tickets. It's like the old line from Good Will Hunting. I had to see about a girl. Know what I mean?
Hey, at least your ex-girlfriend didn't gash you from a Spotify premium.
My God.
I'm not over it. Gonna save $8 a month. Trying to build an empire here.
Hey, guys. Just wanted to hear your thoughts on what I think is a pretty good goaltending duo with Jake Ottinger and Casey DeSmith out in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to hear Dave and Trav. What are your guys' thoughts on them? Thanks, guys.
Out of every team in the Central Division, that's the team that scares me the most when the Jets have to go up against them.
Dallas?
Yeah.
Goaltending-wise, offense, defense?
All around. Jamie Benn is still dominant, man. He may not be putting up the numbers, but he's one of those guys that you got to be aware of when he's on the ice. You're aware. If you don't know he's on the ice, he's going to burn you.
I like Casey DeSmith a lot. He's really come in there. He's played a great game. He got a little bit shafted in Montreal, obviously tough team. I feel like Vancouver, they absolutely shivved him. I mean, he was backing up for Demko. He was supposed to be the playoff guy, and then gets a little concussion. I think somebody ran into him in Nashville, and then Seelovs takes the job, and then they say, see you later, send you packing, like right before I got gassed off the Spotify premium account. And Jake Ottinger, like we mentioned last week.
Married.
Guy got married last summer. Mm-hmm. There's a little part of a man that dies inside when he gets married, especially when you're playing in the National Hockey League. You're a top 3 goaltender in the world. You got married last summer. A little, you like the old saying goes, a hungry lion hunts best. That dog's gone a little bit. He's had a great season, but that dog is dead.
I think Rantanen's got a lot of incentive this year, and if they can keep him motivated throughout the playoff run, I think he could be dangerous.
Man, he pissed off 2 fan bases in Colorado and Carolina.
He's the type of guy that likes that. I think he feeds off that.
What do you think of the amount of money they gave him, though? We got some hate for talking about that.
We'll find out. He becomes worth it if they make it to the conference final.
Against the Jets?
Yeah.
No, they had to play in the second round. one thing I haven't heard anybody talk about when it comes to Rantanen, and this is, I get it. Like these dudes
Well, that might not be. It all depends who wins. If they the Jets will always get the bottom seed of whoever comes out. Keep in mind.
No, it's bracket format. There's
Is
no
it?
receiving
Okay.
like 1 through
All
8.
right.
So they'll get Colorado or Dallas,
Right.
assuming they
Good
gas
point. Yep.
whoever they play. But I get NHL players make a lot of money. They make 5, 10, 15, 20 million. But if you are in that position where you have the opportunity to make 10, 11, 12, 13 million, you want generational wealth, of course. You're not going to say, you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of a deal. It's like everybody wants affordable housing, but guess what? When it's my turn to sell my house, I ain't giving you a deal. Dude, I want full value.
Right.
I bought this place for 6 blueberries 40 years ago. I'm selling it for $6 million.
Isn't Tyler Sagan living in Mike Modano's old place?
I have no idea.
I think he is.
But he also got married. Anyway, I'll leave that off the topic. But if you're going to get generational wealth, you want to cash in. And these people that are shaming this dude for taking his...
Go get your money, man.
Go get the bag, dude.
Go get
I
your
remember...
money.
I'll keep some details out of it, but I remember talking to Matt about that. It's like, dude, this is what Matt told me. I have an opportunity to make sure that my kids' kids never go to the food bank ever again. We get to have generational wealth for this bloodline so that everybody that I love, I get to put a financial fence around all of them. And the outside world, those that mind don't matter, and those that matter don't mind. So I'm going to take care of everybody that I love. I don't care about the rest of the noise. And, I bought the house for 6 blueberries. I'm selling it for $6 million. Nothing wrong getting generational wealth. So to Mikko Rantanen, to the Moose, get that bag, son.
Hey guys, long-time listener here. I know, Trav, you've been through a breakup, and that's kind of what I'm going through, and I'm kind of having a tough time.
Sorry, man.
Regaining some motivation, per se. Not the confidence, just any kind of motivation. So, laying around, being lazy, and being a bum. So, need some help here. Appreciate it.
You want to start?
Go for it.
Being a dude going through a breakup is tough because the female has the instant advantage, I believe. Her instant advantage is she is wanted. The men come to her, so she has all these instant options. And assuming that you have a decent-looking gal, because we all want to have a decent-looking gal, she is instantly going to be able to make you feel jealous and make you feel very sad because she has the options and you don't, because men find women, not women finding men. The good news is, though, if you get the right amount of heartbreak, you can kind of take that and kind of give yourself a little kick in the ass, put that fire under you and say, okay, well, I got to change this, I got to change that, I got to up my game, right? A rising tide raises all ships. So was there a name for the caller, by the way?
We'll call him Nate.
Nate. So Nathan, the Nate dog, your opportunity comes down the line in 6 months, a year, 2, 5 years from now, when you put in the work, you got more jack, you got more money, you got more status. The interesting thing I don't hear a lot of people talk about, too, is men and women have different timelines. Like a woman's value goes like this and then right off a cliff at around 23, 24. A dude's value goes like this, like a fine wine. And then roughly, I would say like 25 to 27, the values cross where she's on the down, you are on the up. And if you put in that work, you can use that heartbreak to put yourself way above, dude. So it sucks. I've been through it. This man right in front of me has been through it as well. I mean, he got so upset and heartbroken. He left an upper decker in some chick's place, which I've never forgotten about. I'll never let him forget because that is awesome.
Here's 17 years worth of great advice and different advice. You're broken right now, and that is okay. That is totally okay. You got to fix yourself before you go out, because if you go out now, you're not going to find a very good buyer. So the way you get yourself fixed is you go find some dudes. I know that sounds weird. Hear me out. You go hang out with your buds again. If you got a group of guys that you want to hang out with, hang out with. If you don't have a group of guys, find a group of guys. Get back in that pack mentality. Remind yourself of what it is to be an alpha. Remind yourself what it is to be a man. And the quicker you can fix yourself, and it doesn't have to be overnight. It can take a while. Once you fix yourself, then you're ready.
Do you think, though,
there's nothing wrong with being broken right now? Take time.
Do you feel like the tough part about being a dude in that situation is I feel like men don't have those same like support groups and whatnot, because
we do. They're different though.
Not as much. But a chick though, you broke up with them, like all the girls come around, like there's full insulation and support, as opposed to like with dudes, it's like, we'll just move on, dude. Which there is some truth in that.
No, it's usually, hey, get some nice socks on. We're going out to the pub.
Well, maybe you got some better friends than I have.
I do. I got gray ones, as a matter of fact. Gary Busey, what up? All right, here we go.
That's if I could real quick too. Stay positive, dude. This too will pass. Everything will pass, good and negative. It's going to be fine. And if you need any support, you can always reach out on Instagram or
call anytime.
Family and I moved houses a couple of years ago now. Living in Winnipeg, of course, the best city in all of Canada.
Yeah.
I found a disc From Thursday, March 20th, 2008, from the MTS Center, Manitoba Moose versus San Antonio Rampage. And wow, I must say, Dave, with this day's economy, I sent over that video to you, Trav. I'm just wondering if that FJ Cruiser is still available. So, yeah, hopefully you can let me know, Dave.
He's still working on getting the video ripped to digital so I can put it on the video version of the show. I'm waiting on it.
Wow.
Thoughts?
I can't wait to see how handsome I look.
That mustache.
Ooh.
You would give Stuart Skinner a rival.
Ooh.
That salad, giving Candace someone to hang on to in the back.
That was the year before I met my wife. So, yeah, I would. That
You hadn't met her yet.
I had met my wife in 2009, so that would have been the year before.
Well, you're an absolute weapon back then.
Oh, I'm telling you. There was nobody safe from that mustache.
Oof. Mustache rides. Who wants a mustache ride?
I do.
Give you a little wheel around.
What's going on, boys? It's Alex from Toronto. Obviously, I know Ryan Reeves has been down with the Marlies. Do you think that the Leafs find a way to pencil him into the lineup come game one? Obviously they've got Brady Tkachuk and whatnot, but just wanted to hear what you guys thought about this.
Only if things go bad.
You think so?
I don't think they put him in lineup, but things are going well.
I think he's ready to go. I think they got him up as a black ace. I think he's actually, you know what? Truthfully, I think he's probably taking warm up and then probably going to sit up on the shelf after. But he's ready to go. I think they got him.
He's a Winnipeg boy. We got to love him. We support that guy.
Absolutely.
And his brother, too, played in the CFL, the Comedy Football League for the Saskatchewan Rough Riders.
Easy.
We need to go to a Blue Bomber game, by the way.
Grey Cup's in Winnipeg this year.
Is it?
Yeah.
In November?
Yeah.
Oh, if I'm still alive, we should go there. Some of the shit I say, I'm sometimes afraid someone might shiv me and give me the Winnipeg handshake.
Matt Spots, do you think the Jets will win the Stanley Cup?
Yes.
They won the President's Trophy. They have to be the first team since the '98 Red Wings to do so and break the curse.
I think Hellebuyck will welcome the rematch.
Ooh, you want to talk about conquering some demons right there, Jordan Binnington. Oh man, I don't know, man. You can't bet against the winner.
Look, man, it's like a video game. This is like God of War. It's going back and facing all of your old demons over and over and over again. It's the 7 circles of hell.
It's like, man, if I was to bet against Tom Brady, if I was to take any of my investment money out of Dollarama, if I was to bet against Jordan Binnington, what a bad idea all three of those would be.
Dollar Tree's better.
I made a couple bucks today off Dollarama again. Thank you for asking.
Attaboy.
Also, gold, man. The return I've gotten on investing in gold. This isn't a financial podcast, by the way, but
no.
So Bitcoin's still in the shit.
Invest in Manitoba Hydro.
Invest in this podcast. Join the Patreon page.
Please.
Keep these lights on.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed we're down one light because we're on financial hard times right now.
Just calling in here. Trav, do you think you could be a starting goalie in the PWHL?
Yes.
Thanks, boys.
I could be a starting goaltender in the PWHL.
I could take 2 years off. I can get up to 275 pounds of sheer muscle, lean, mean. I'd still be a starter in the PWHL. This will be the toughest guy in the league.
Interesting. Next call.
Seriously, though, have you ever watched, really watched a female professional hockey game?
I cover them every morning in sports.
It's like watching paint dry. Dude, when they dump the puck in, if I was a goalie going to go get the dump in behind the net, I could literally stop, leave my gloves on top of the net, go change my laundry, flip a load, go to the dry cleaners, pick up my suit for next game, do some grocery shopping, come back, stop the dump in, and still be good to go. It is so slow.
I think the majority of the women on that ice sheet put in more work in 60 minutes as far as hard labor than I do in an entire week.
You know what they need to do to get more viewership to the game and to actually get fans invested?
Don't say shirts and skins.
No, they need to get these girls after the games going out in the crowd, going out in the media, in sports bras, signing autographs. If I was to open up a restaurant and I want to bring people in the door, what do? Hot women.
It's called Hooters.
Well, we need good food and better women. We need low mileage women and above average food.
They are doing quite well. They've
Hooters?
got no.
They restructure
the PWHL.
Oh,
we do new shows every Sunday. Tell them what time, Travis Ridgen.
11 a.m. in the center of the world, the dump of the universe in Toronto at 10 a.m. in the prairies of Manitoba and Saskatoon, our favorite city in the prairies, Paris, the prairies they call it. 9 a.m. on the foothills of Calgary, 8 a.m. in the Pacific Northwest. This is the greatest hockey show on the planet. New shows every Sunday on YouTube. You get to see this beautiful, sexy, humble, smiling face. Canada's most iconic, legendary radio DJ right across from me, right here in our beautiful studios right outside the Winnipeg airport. You can actually hear the jets flying over top of us as we speak.
You can hear them flying all the way to the Stanley Cup final.
Oh, I got to go to the airport after this. I got to go back home to Vancouver to go see my missus. But
fly safe.
We will see. I'm going to go to a lounge. I'm going to crush some bacon and beans tomorrow.
Good man.
Do a little eggs, little sausage, little bean, sriracha, ketchup.
Happy Easter, by the way, everybody. Happy Zombie Jesus Day.
Can we also say, too, Terry Fox, the 45th anniversary just passed of the Marathon of Hope. That man is a Canadian hero that I don't see enough people talk about enough. I think we need to honor that guy a little bit more for what he did for our country.
Absolutely.
As opposed to our Prime Minister who took him out of the passport and put a squirrel and a picture of himself. What a narcissist. He takes Terry Fox out and says, here's a picture of me swimming instead.
1 week away from the election, everybody. Enjoy.
Woo! We'll see you on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Rumble, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Let's go home, David.
You want to be that happy? Go get some sheepdog.
Manitoba made. There's a link in the description. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Thanks for coming by.